Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2014. Big news in the United States, at least in the eastern part, is the record cold snap. Yesterday, the temperature in New York City went from about 51 degrees Fahrenheit down to about 2 below in about a 15-hour period. It was one of the highest recorded temperature swings on record. Right now, the entire eastern part of the country is shivering with temperatures ranging from below 7 degrees in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to a low of about 1 degree in New York Central Park today. Here in New Jersey right now, it's about 3 degrees, and there are strong gusty winds. For example, the disparities are dramatic. In Denver, Colorado, right now, the temperature is 35 degrees. That weather in the west is moving eastward. Tomorrow in the New York area, it's expected to be in the mid-20s, and then by the weekend, it's going to be in the 50s. All things were not peachy clean, so to speak, for Amtrak riders. 3 Amtrak trains ended up breaking down in Illinois last night, stranding about 500 passengers overnight on 3 separate trains. This was because of the cold. Nobody was injured. About 1,800 flights have been canceled already into and out of the United States as a result of the cold. Meanwhile, in Bermuda, former Validus Re CEO Conan Ward is returning to the game. He's coming back to head U.S. insurance business at Hamilton Re. Hamilton Re is the new company set up by Brian Duperreault. It was the one that purchased the former SAC Re. And Duperreault has indicated that he is going to exploit a significant opportunity and bring a fresh approach to insurance and reinsurance. Conan Ward has been in the industry for a while and is a good guy. The president of FIFA, the International World Football Association, a gentleman named Sepp Blatter, has criticized the readiness of Brazil for the World Cup, which is going to be held in June. Mr. Blatter said that the country was further behind in its preparations than any other host nation during his tenure. He said in a newspaper interview in Switzerland yesterday that Brazil is the furthest behind of any host country since I've been at FIFA, and moreover, it's the only one that had so much time, 7 years, to prepare. The Brazilians, of course, have responded angrily, saying that they will be a great host and everything is going to be ready on time. Brazil, of course, missed the December 31st deadline for the completion of 6 of its 12 World Cup stadiums. The country's preparations have faced innumerable delays ranging from financial problems, worker safety issues, and construction site accidents. 3 construction workers died at stadiums earlier this year. And of course, all of those problems paled in significance to the millions of people who turned out in the streets in the fall demonstrating against money being spent for the World Cup and for the 2016 Olympics in Rio, claiming that those funds should be better spent on the poor. When you invest in countries, it's always good to have a secure rule of law. That means that the police pretty much have to be uncorruptible. Investment in Turkey is nervous this morning. The Turks have dismissed 350 police officers in the capital of Ankara. It's the biggest shakeup since a corruption inquiry targeted government allies. Hours later, the top judiciary body in Turkey said that it would in turn investigate misconduct by officials overseeing the police corruption inquiry. The government appears to be hitting back by sacking or reassigning hundreds of police. This is according to correspondence. This is because the police apparently detained the sons of 3 cabinet ministers in raids last month. Whatever the situation is, whether it's politically motivated or not, investors are nervous. It's a difficult situation to invest money if the police, in fact, are being deemed as corrupt by the government. Munich Re has come out with their annual recitation of disasters, natural disasters that struck the industry. They say that the violent hailstorms that struck Germany in the summer ranked as the costliest natural cat event for reinsurers last year, generated a total claims bill of about $4.1 billion. They noted that heavy flooding in Central Europe in June and the tornadoes that hit Oklahoma in May caused insurer losses of $3 billion and $1.8 billion respectively. Canada suffered its largest historical loss in June and July as the Bow and Elbow rivers flooded in Alberta, producing insured losses of about $1.6 billion. 2013, however, was a benign year for cat-related events. Total insured losses were only $31 billion. Average annual claims for cat events is usually about $56 billion. Also, 20,000 people lost their lives in natural catastrophes during last year, which is lower than usual. The 10-year average has been 106,000. The deadliest event, of course, was Super Typhoon Haiyan, which struck the Philippines in November, killing about 6,000 people. Well, here's an interesting story. There's an election in Britain in 2015, and the conservative government, who is running for re-election, made an announcement today saying that they intend to cut $20 billion off the welfare budget after the 2015 election. This does not seem to be a smart move to make such an announcement a year in advance of the election, but they did it anyway. The finance minister, George Osborne, said yesterday that there are no easy options here. If we are to fix our country's problems, and we need to cut the welfare bill further. This is the kind of decision we will need to make after the election. Gold futures in the United States suffered a sudden brief drop in price earlier yesterday. People are blaming the move on everything from a fat finger to trader liquidation to price manipulation. According to the NANEX, a part of the New York Mercantile Exchange, a trade of about 4,200 contracts sent February gold prices tumbling by about $30 an ounce in 10 seconds. Observers said that it looked as if the drop was due to a so-called fat finger, and the subsequent speculation focused on a broker liquidating a position. People also noted that there was a similar event in April that had not been investigated by the regulator, which in this case is the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And the question now is whether or not the CFTC is going to investigate yesterday's incident. People are saying that this points to the further evidence that the current regulatory regime is not working. And in France, last evening, 2 executives for the American tire company Goodyear spent the night inside a factory in Amiens, in the northern part of the country. The plant, which Goodyear has tried to sell or close for about 5 years, has become an emblem of France's labor issues. And the 2 managers, the plant's director and the HR director, were held captive by the workers. It resurrects the once common practice of boss napping in France. Boss nappings typically have lasted from a few hours to a couple of days. They're punishable under French law by 5 years in prison, so long as the boss goes free in under a week. Generally, the workers are not prosecuted, however, and in many instances have tried to make the boss's confinement more hospitable. A union leader in the Amiens plant told the local paper that the executives had refused offers of mattresses and blankets overnight, but they were fed and in no distress. Last time I read of a boss napping, it was in China, where an American was being held captive by protesters inside of his factory. That's the news for today. Keep warm. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.